Abraham just witnessed Sodom and Gomorrah turn into a giant charcoal briquette, so naturally he decides it's time for a change of scenery. He packs up the tents, sheeps, and the trauma, and they head south to the Negev, settling in a place called Gerar, however you say that place. We're going to figure it out together. Naturally, he brings his favorite travel strategy with him. Ta-da! You know, the one that almost got him killed in Egypt? Welcome to the Gravel Gospel. I'm Bionic Leg. So Abraham rolls up to the city, and he runs into King Abimelech of Gerar. And when the king asks about Sarah, Abraham pulls out old trusty, she's my sister. Anyways, apparently we're doing this again. He's 100 years old, seeing God rain fire from the sky, survived a 318-man commando mission, and his go-to move is still the sister lie. Kind of wild. Anyways, so King Abimelech, he thinks he found a lovely single noble woman and sends for Sarah to take her into his palace. But God is not about to let the Isaac plan get derailed by Abraham's commitment to the bit. That night, God pops up into Abimelech's dream and drops a casual, "Your gut is dead." Abimelech, who hasn't even touched Sarah yet, is understandably flipped out. He tells God. And so, side tangent real quick. This is really cool. These are the moments that I geek out about Scripture. Okay, so let's break this down for a second. God talks to Adam in the garden. They're walking, like, so cool. Noah, Abraham, okay. But up until this point, God is talking directly to, like, his people, right? But this is so freaking cool. Now, there's more to it, and we'll get there. But God visiting King Abimelech in a dream. That's really stinking cool. And okay, on the surface, yes. Is this a threat? You did. But we're gonna pause there. Abimelech, who hasn't even touched Sarah yet, I mean, he's freaked out, right? And so he tells God, he says, "Master, would you kill an innocent man?" He, as in Abraham, told me she was his sister. She said she was his, words hard. Abraham said the brother, sister thing, and he's, and God tells him, he says, "That's why I'm the one that kept you from touching her. Now, you might want to give her. This guy's a prophet. He'll pray for you. He'll live. You don't give her back, you might want to ask if anybody's heard from Sodom lately." Say it. Peace. Oh, just that conversation has just been wild. But anyways, I'm too excited. I mean, it's exciting stuff. Whole reason why I do this channel. Because reading these stories, thinking about it's like, dude, this is cool. Anyways, I digress. So Abimelech wakes up at the crack of dawn, rounds up the servants, and tells them the dream. Which is cool. God is speaking through a dream. And this isn't the first or the last time we're going to see this. Still really neat. Everybody's freaking out. Then he calls in Abraham for a good old heart-to-heart. Now, I can totally see this interaction, right? Now, he's probably pinging, but I can, in my mind's eye, I can see him just sitting there just, with his little goblet. And doesn't even look up at Abraham. What did I ever do? Is literally the one thing you shouldn't do to a person. What were you thinking? And then Abraham, okay, some grace. First he goes the safety excuse. Well, I figured there was no fear of God here, and you'd kill me for my wife. So that's just messed up. But then he goes, the technicality defense. Technically, she is my half sister. Same dad, different moms. Technically. And then he goes to the habit defense. Look, last time we were in a new city, talking about Egypt, I told her, hey, do me a favor. Wherever we go, just tell the people I'm your brother, and then we should be fine. Basically, Abraham just admitted that this was their standard operating procedure for the last 20 years. This is bonkers. But where it gets kind of... Now, this part is interesting. It's wild. It didn't go where I thought it would go. Even though Abraham was the one that lied, Abimelech is so terrified of God, which rightfully so, he decides to go the extreme apology route. He gives Sarah back and then throws in keeping cattle, male and female servants, a live anywhere you want pass for his land, and 1,000 pieces of silver. So Abraham just got hooked up again, because remember, because Egypt, he got hooked up, but then he got kicked out of it. It's a little different. But then this one, Abimelech is like, hey, you can, anywhere you want to build in my land, yours. That's actually kind of cool. And then he looks at Sarah and he goes, I've given you your brother 1,000 pieces of silver, clear your name. Then comes the plot twist. God said this was going to happen, but this is the crazy part. So to say that Abimelech giving Abraham all that stuff was the plot twist, but then it takes another wild turn. Abraham prays for Abimelech like God said he would. And it turns out the moment that Abimelech took Sarah, God shut down every womb in the palace. Total fertility strike. Abraham prays, God heals him, and the palace starts having bebes again. Which is really stinking cool. But either way. So Abraham once again walks away wealthier than he started. Despite the oopsie. Clock is ticking. Sarah's vindicated. Womb lock is lifted. That's such a funny word or phrase. Anyways, and this time next year, that promise that this time next year promise that God said, getting really close. Now, don't forget about Abimelech, because it's like a 1-2 punch. It's really neat. I can't wait to, in the next video, can't wait to talk about it. It's really neat what happens. So we see this really cool exchange between Abimelech and Abraham. Really neat. Really exciting. But that's what we got. So Abraham giving us the sequel we didn't ask for, but interestingly enough, it's a setup for something down the road. It was pretty cool. Anyways, so I'm Bionic Leg, the Gravel Gospel. Appreciate you.